What is going on, guys? Today I'm bringing you another versus match. This time it's going to be the Justice League's favorite Martian, J'onn J'onzz, the Martian Manhunter, versus the Z-Fighter's own warrior NAMEK, Piccolo. Let's get started. J'onn J'onzz was accidentally teleported from his home world of Mars to planet Earth by a scientist experimenting with alien technology. The scientist promises to send J'onn back, but dies of a heart attack when J'onn uses his shape-shifting ability. Realizing he will be stranded on Earth for quite some time, J'onn decides to make the most of a situation by fighting crime under the identity of the Martian Manhunter. When the evil King Piccolo was defeated by Goku, his final act was to spit out an egg containing his son/reincarnation. Originally, Piccolo's sole purpose is to kill Goku and rule the Earth. However, when Goku sacrifices himself and dies by Piccolo's hand, Piccolo realizes he would get no satisfaction from continuing on his path of evil. He eventually joins the Z-Fighters and works to defend the Earth from any and all threats. Both of these green extraterrestrials are gifted with super strength due to their alien physiology. But exactly who is stronger? Let's find out. Martian Manhunter is one of the physically strongest beings in all of comics. He is able to lift 100 tons without much effort. He is capable of damaging Kryptonians who are extremely durable. And he once, with the help of Wonder Woman and Superman, pulled the Earth through space. As if that wasn't enough, he can further increase his strength by increasing his size and his density. Piccolo is certainly very strong and packs one hell of a punch. He has been able to damage some of the more powerful villains from Dragon Ball Z, such as Frieza and even Cell. Much like the Martian Manhunter, he can increase his size to proportionally increase his physical strength. J'onn J'onzz has stalemated Supes before and has even been called the most powerful being on the face of the Earth by Superman. Piccolo fails to reach the Saiyan's level of strength after a certain point. He is better known for his brilliance as a fighter rather than his strength. Point: the Martian Manhunter. It is extremely difficult to win a fight if you cannot hit your opponent. Speed is a necessity in battle. Let's see which of these green Goliaths is the faster fighter. One of the many gifts the Martian Manhunter has been bestowed with is super speed. His exact top speed is unknown, but he has reached near light speeds and has even been able to keep up with the Flash and Superman. On one occasion, the Joker uses a magic scepter to make J'onn and the Flash fight each other. He matches Barry Allen blow for blow. In terms of reaction time, Martian Manhunter was once able to react and telekinetically grip a spaceship, moving 8 times faster than the speed of light. Piccolo, on the other hand, is measured at well beyond the speed of sound in terms of travel speed. However, when it comes to reaction time and fight speed, beings in the Dragon Ball Z universe are capable of moving faster than light. This is seen very early on in the anime.
It's all yours, Special Beam Cannon! He dodged it. He's faster than the speed of light.
Still not convinced? Well, looks like it's time for a quick Super Saiyan study session. When Gohan literally goes apeshit and transforms into an Ozaru, Piccolo destroys the moon to change Gohan back to normal. The moon is approximately 384,400 kilometers from Earth. The speed of light is 299,792,458 meters per second, or approximately 300,000 kilometers per second. Piccolo's beam almost instantly destroyed the moon, meaning it would have had to cover that distance in at least the speed of light. And that was today's quick Super Saiyan study session. Keep in mind, this was very early on in the series, way before anyone reached the insane levels of Super Saiyan and beyond. DBZ characters fire and dodge these types of attacks at a much closer range. Martian Manhunter may travel much faster than Piccolo, and he has that impressive spaceship feat under his belt, but Piccolo has been more consistent and has gotten vastly faster since he destroyed the moon. Not to mention, the guy wears weighted clothing to further increase his speed. Point Piccolo. As much time as these two spend defending the Earth, they must have great durability. But who would last longer in a battle? We're about to find out. Jon Jones is about as durable as they come.
I am unharmed.
He has tanked hits from very powerful opponents like Superman and Apollo. If for some reason Jon is fatally harmed, his regenerative abilities ensure he bounces right back. He has recovered from being nothing more than a splat on the wall, and has even regenerated from a single limb he was able to transfer his consciousness to. Now, Piccolo is arguably one of the more durable Z fighters. He may not be as hard to kill as Goku and Vegeta, but the guy knows how to take a punch, and how to punch back for that matter. His durability is due in no small part to his regeneration. As long as his head is intact, the Namekian warrior can regenerate any part of his body. This, however, hasn't prevented him from being killed on more than one occasion. Most famously when he sacrificed himself to save Gohan from Nappa's attack.
Mr. Piccolo!
Gohan, run!
Although Piccolo is capable of taking tons of damage, he is simply outclassed by the level of regeneration possessed by the Martian Manhunter. Point: the Martian Manhunter. Next up, we will determine which of our combatants is better skilled in the arts of fighting. Most members of the Justice League, with the exception of Batman and Wonder Woman, don't really have any extensive combat knowledge. Well, at least none that they put into practice during confrontations with evildoers. More than likely, this is due to the fact that powerful entities such as Superman and Martian Manhunter don't need to know any form of hand-to-hand combat because they can either physically overpower their opponents or use one of the other many superpowers to win a fight. Why learn something you're never going to use or need? Now sure, the Martian Manhunter has actually taken on the entire Justice League before and more than held his own, but he did so through the use of his many abilities, which we will get to later on. Piccolo, as with most of the Z fighters, is a martial arts master. He is constantly training his body and mind to become the very best warrior he can be. He recognizes and understands his limitations and pushes himself to surpass them.
My greatest opponent is myself. If I can discover what my weaknesses are, then I will be an even stronger fighter than I already am.
Being that Martian Manhunter is a brawler more than anything in terms of combat skills, Piccolo easily takes this round. Point Piccolo. It all comes down to this. Both Martians and Namekians are gifted with extraordinary abilities, but exactly which fighter's abilities are better? And more importantly, how will they affect the outcome of this fight? Let's settle this. If there was ever anyone who could rightfully be called the Swiss Army knife of superheroes, that hero is undoubtedly the Martian Manhunter. We've already touched on his super strength, super speed, and regeneration, but these are just the tip of the iceberg. Martian Manhunter has supreme control over his molecular structure, and this is what grants him most of his abilities. He can become intangible and phase through solid objects, is able to become completely invisible, shapeshift to match whatever or whoever he pleases, including the Hulk, and of course, he can regenerate, shrink, or grow in size. He also has Martian vision, which is similar to Superman's heat vision and has been described to cause more damage than 1,000 pounds of TNT. His greatest powers, however, stem from his psychic abilities. Jon Jones is arguably the most powerful telepath in the DC universe. Some of his most impressive telepathic feats include scanning the minds of everyone on planet Earth at once, on more than one occasion, subconsciously keeping the souls of the entire Martian race from moving on to the next life, and my personal favorite, he manages to temporarily make the Joker sane. He also possesses telekinesis, which enables him to move objects with his mind and grants him the ability to fly. Piccolo may not possess as many abilities, but quantity isn't always as important as quality. We already know he has super strength and speed, and he can regenerate his limbs, but Piccolo is capable of so much more. Although it isn't at Martian levels, Piccolo can use telekinesis, as seen when he mentally levitates a pyramid, and his telepathy is strong enough to the point where he can mentally communicate with Goten and Trunks while they're trading in the hyperbolic time chamber, which is essentially another dimension. He can separate his body into two forms so he may train against himself or use against his opponents. He is able to materialize objects, presumably through some form of magic. He also has super hearing, which in his words, enable him to hear just about everything in the universe. One very useful technique Namekians possess is the art of Namekian fusion. This was seen twice in the anime, and each time Piccolo gained a substantial increase in power. It is unknown whether there is a limit to how many times this technique can be performed, but it is assumed to be limitless. His greatest asset though, as all Dragon Ball Z characters, comes through his ability to manipulate Kai. He is capable of various powerful techniques, such as his light grenade and his devastating Hellzone grenade, in which he surrounds his opponent with Kai spheres, ultimately culminating in an inescapable attack. Piccolo's signature move though is his special beam cannon. Piccolo concentrates his Kai between his fingertips and releases two powerful beams, with one coiling around the other, resembling a screw. It is clear that Piccolo has more than his fair share of tricks to aid him in battle. However, when put to the test against the Martian Manhunter, they just don't quite measure up. The final point goes to the Martian Manhunter. It seems as if all my matchups up to this point have been very close. Before I even started working on this video, I thought for sure I was going to give it to Piccolo. But as I started gathering research for the analysis, it became clear to me that the Martian Manhunter had two key advantages over Piccolo: his telepathy and his regenerative abilities. I don't know how difficult it would be for Jean to successfully attack Piccolo's mind, seeing as Piccolo shares a body with two other NAMEKs, one of which was the Guardian of Earth for centuries. I would even go as far as to say Piccolo is more intelligent than Martian Manhunter because of this, but Jean's many telepathic feats led me to believe he would one way or another be able to penetrate Piccolo's mind. Now, as far as Jean's regeneration is concerned, if I had to compare it to a Dragon Ball Z character, I would place him just below Cell's level of regeneration. Cell can regenerate his entire body as long as a single cell of his molecular structure remains intact. It is unknown whether Martian Manhunter is capable of the same feat, but just going off of what has been shown already, I feel comfortable placing him just a notch below Cell in terms of regeneration. It is important to note that Kai has properties which enable it to completely obliterate matter, but Piccolo has never been shown to generate enough energy to destroy enemies equal to or more powerful than himself. In fact, of all Piccolo's major battles, and I stress the word major, he has unfortunately come out on the losing end. You may be asking yourself, what of Martian Manhunter's weakness to fire? I did not forget about it, I simply don't think that Piccolo could find a way to exploit it because he would have no way of knowing about it. He could try to read Jean's mind, but I doubt he would be successful. There's also the matter of Jean being able to switch off his telepathy to become immune to fire. One last point I wanted to touch on is the existence of a sort of alter ego of Martian Manhunter called Furnace. In a nutshell, Jean tries to conquer his fear of fire and ends up reverting to an ancient Martian who amplifies all of his Martian abilities. He single-handedly defeats the entire Justice League with ease, more than once. I chose not to include Furnace in the matchup because he loses the essence of Martian Manhunter, and that's not what I wanted for this analysis. Of all of the versus matches I would love to see, this one in my opinion would be by far the most visually stunning. We would see shape-shifting, explosions, both warriors may decide to become gigantic. It would be an absolutely phenomenal fight. I would love for both guys to take home the victory, but since there can only be one, the winner is the Martian Manhunter. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, favorite, and share this video if you did enjoy it. Also be sure to check out my other versus matchups. The link for those will be in the description. And as I always say, this is just my personal opinion, so feel free to drop a comment down below to express yours. Take it easy, guys. This is Mysterious King 64 signing off.